Live. Hi, my name's Darren Fink, and I'm with Transfiguring Adoption, and I have Katie Bowers on interview here with me today, and she is with the Harry Potter Alliance. And as most of our fans probably know, we have a discussion guide that helps kiddos work through their past trauma, and we give it to caregivers so that they can help them, and it's using the Harry Potter series, and we've seen a lot of success, and parents love it. And so it's just a natural fit that we kind of look at the Harry Potter Alliance, who have different projects that they run and do different things, taking fandom and taking that passion that people have for the Harry Potter series and using it for good and making a difference in our world. And I have Katie with me, and we're going to talk about their is it Accio or Accio?
We say Accio, but
Heard it both ways.
Yep. So do we. We say Accio, but we're not the experts, so whatever feels right.
We're going to talk about the Accio Books project and what that's doing to make a difference, and how our viewers can help make a difference in the world. And before I get into it, I think foster adoptive parents that are watching this, the reason that we're doing this and that this makes a difference for you is because, as Katie will get into it, this is making a world of difference for other kiddos that aren't in the best situation. So Katie, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, in what capacity, a little bit about the Harry Potter Alliance?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure thing. So I am the campaigns director at the Harry Potter Alliance, and the Harry Potter Alliance is an organization that turns fans into heroes. And so we use lessons from and inspiration from the Harry Potter series to inspire people to do real world good works and social justice work. And we work with young people and also adults all over the world. We're in 21 different countries with 200 chapters to do all sorts of good works type projects. And so some of that is things as simple as doing coat drives or people volunteering in their local schools, all the way up to we had a successful campaign called Not in Harry's Name that petitioned Warner Brothers to stop using chocolate that was produced in farms that could have been using child labor, and made all Harry Potter chocolate fair trade. And so we know that folks who worked on Harry Potter chocolate are getting a living wage and are all adults. And so it's
fantastic.
Yeah, so that was a really exciting thing. So we are working mostly with young people, mostly teens and 20-somethings, but we have a few chapters that are elementary and middle school, and we also have several chapters that are family chapters where parents are working with their kids to do these different kind of do good in the world type projects.
That's fantastic. And I think the exciting part for me that I'm hearing from you is these aren't they're not celebrities. They're not people they're everyday people that are just, you guys are just giving them kind of the ideas and saying, hey, let's turn you guys into a hero.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things we always say is that the best heroes are local heroes. And so we give people lots of tools and resources to say, if you want to run an advocacy campaign, here's a way to do it. If you want to run a local foods dinner, here's ways to do it. But it's very much up to the chapters and to our members to say, hey, you know what would make a big difference in my community is this thing. So we're going to adopt what the HPA is giving us and use it on this thing that's big in our community.
And so that's really big too, because each chapter can figure out what they want to do. It's not just, I don't know how else to say it, it's not people up in the high level saying, here's what we're going to do, and we deem that everyone that, if someone on the East Coast has a dream about helping out some social justice issue, it sounds like you're providing the ideas and maybe resources, or someone, you're giving them resources so that they can attain that goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have campaigns that we run, such as Accio Books is an annual campaign that we say like, okay, so it's April and May, it's Accio Books time. We're going to have all the chapters collecting books and everyone's in on it. But it also, we're very flexible. So if a chapter says like, hey, we want to do Accio Books, but like we're really busy with school, and so we're going to do Accio Books in August, that's great. That's awesome. We're very excited for that. So we definitely provide campaigns for people to participate in, but are very flexible so that they can do what works for them.
Okay, and let's get into Accio Books. First of all, there are some parents that are watching that their kids love Harry Potter, but they don't have a clue about the wizarding world. Can you explain, even tell them what Accio is, and then kind of give us an overview of what Accio Books is, maybe how it started?
Yeah, absolutely. So Accio is a spell that they use in the Harry Potter universe to summon things to them. So you could say like Accio water bottle, and like it appears. So we're taking that concept and saying Accio Books. We're going to summon all these books from all over the world and give them to folks in need. And so Accio Books started in 2009 with just the idea of like, we really love stories. Literacy is so important to us, and having really inspirational stories had such a huge impact on all of our lives. And so we want to make sure that kids have access to these stories, whether it's through getting them through their school library, or if we're able to like give them away so kids can have home libraries. And so it started out really simple. The first, so what we do every year is we pick a featured recipient. And we have had featured recipients in Rwanda, New York City, the Mississippi Delta, kind of like all over the place. And then we say, you can either send your books to this featured recipient, and they usually get about like 10,000 books. Or if you want, you can donate them locally in your community. And then we give a whole bunch of potential examples of, these are places in your community that might need books. Right. And so last year, we, all of our chapters and members together, collected over 64,000 books. Wow. And about 11,000 of them went to two organizations, one called Operation Breakthrough in Kansas City that works with young people there. It's a community center. And the other part of it went to Borderline Books in the Netherlands, and they work specifically with communities that kind of are on the fringes of society. So they work with a lot of refugees who are just coming in. They work with folks who are in prison. They work in domestic violence shelters to give books away to the folks who are there.
Very neat.
Yeah, and they're cool because they take books in any language, because their philosophy is that books help people feel at home, and you should feel at home in whatever language you speak. So that was a neat thing for us because we're an international organization, and the book drive is always we're always getting books in all sorts of languages. So
yeah, that helps out a lot then.
Yeah.
Well, when I was looking at on the website and talking to you a little bit before this, I think it's Transfiguring Adoption. We're creating media and resources to help kiddos that are coming from traumatic backgrounds. They have different behaviors and different things that no kid, they're coming from traumatic pasts that no kid should come from. At the very least, they've been taken away from their biological home. And so we're trying to help them by helping the parents to help them take care of them, help them heal, help them walk through things. And I think what connected and what everyone, parents that are watching this right now should be connecting with this is Accio Books is going to be helping kids this year, right? That are also going through situations and are in places that we hope that no kid. We hope that we could provide better for these kids. Can you tell us a little bit about who the recipients of the books are this year?
Yeah, sure. So like I said, there will be folks all over the country and organizations all over the world that are getting books. So it's one thing that's really great is it's such a huge diversity of organizations that are impacted by this campaign. And so if you're in wherever you are, there might be a chapter near you that is right now thinking, who are we going to donate all of our Accio books to? And if you have ideas, you can get in touch with the HPA, info at thehpalliance.org, and we can hook you up with somebody potentially. But our featured recipient this year is something we're really excited about. So we have a chapter in Masaka, Uganda, who last year started working with community leaders to build a school. Masaka itself is kind of an urban area surrounded by a really rural area, and where our chapter is a very rural area. And so they wanted to build a school so more kids would have access and not have to walk as far. And so they started building, this chapter of young people started working with community leaders to build a brand new school that is now up and functioning. But the school did not have a library in their plans. It just wasn't slated to be a part of the school. And so we were talking with our chapter organizer, whose name is John, and said, we do this huge book drive every year. Do you guys want a library? Is that something you'd be interested in? And he obviously was very excited. The school was very excited. And so we looked into it and we found we could partner with a great organization called Books for Africa that does a lot more. We get Accio Books, we get a lot of really wonderful fiction, picture books, adult fiction, novels, stuff like that. And Books for Africa does a ton of work getting textbooks. And so we got a list from the school of these are all the kind of textbooks we want. These are the stories we're looking for, that kind of thing. And so together we're going to be able to send a whole bunch of novels and beloved stories, but also a whole bunch of textbooks for math and science and English and everything that they requested. So it's really exciting, and it's such a cool project because it's something that our Masaka chapter was really leading. And it's neat because most of our chapters are all young people who have grown up in all sorts of different circumstances, but really use this as an opportunity to be leaders. And so the folks in our Masaka chapter are creating the school and creating a library for their community, and everyone in the HBA gets to be a small part of helping that happen. So it's really cool. Just one other thing that thinking about your organization and everything that you guys are working with, a really common thing with the Accio Books, places we donate to and the libraries that come from it, we do a lot of book giveaways where we will have a big section of books for kids and books for teens, but also a huge collection of books for adults. And so the event, parents bring children there to say we're getting them some books, but then they see, there are books for me as well. And so then it's this shared experience of parents and kids finding books they love together. And so that's been one of my favorite things that happens during the campaign, is seeing multiple generations bonding over these stories. And I'm sure that's going to be happening in Masaka as well.
Well, I think it's so neat what you're talking about, because toward the beginning you were talking about just how HPA really, reading is magical, and I think I think we would say the same thing, because there's so many times when we see a traumatized person, not even a child, that won't, or someone just even with shoot fire, even me, I would rather read a book and talk about a character's problems, rather than talk about my own and show you my own problems. But if a book character is dealing with something, I can say, hey, look at this look what Harry's going through. I can relate with that. And then I
Mm-hmm.
can grow and get something from that. And I think it's so neat because these kids are going to get, that didn't have a library, are going to get to have moments
Mm-hmm.
like that where they get
Yeah.
to get into other worlds and different things like that. So that is so neat to me. What our parents and our families, they might even have kids that are getting excited about this. What do they need to do to get behind you guys? Where do they go? What do they do?
So the place you can get all of the information is on our website. It's thehpalliance.org. From there, you can navigate to our campaigns and to Accio Books. The direct link is thehpalliance.org slash Accio, ACCIO underscore books. But if you just go to our website, you can also find it through there. And it has everything. We have toolkits of how to do a book drive. We have World Book Night is April 23rd, which is a big like celebration of Literacy Day. Your local library might be doing a party for it. So we have toolkits about that. We have another piece of the campaign is we work with the American Library Association to encourage people to advocate for their public libraries and to say like, oh, libraries are, dear Congress, libraries are an important part of our life and we want you to provide funding for them. And so we have toolkits for like, how do you call Congress and tell them that libraries are important?
Right.
And all of that's on our website. But if the part you're really excited about is collecting books, you can collect a whole bunch of books. You can collect them just from your house. You could make it really big and put boxes around town and get them from your coworkers. However you want to do it. Your children could get them from their classmates at school. And then you pick where you want to send them to. If you want to send them to Masaka, we have the address you can mail them to on our website. If you'd like to donate locally, you just find the place that speaks to your heart and to your children's hearts and take it there. And then you can enter how many books you donated in our house cup. And so if anyone's unfamiliar, in the Harry Potter series, the students live in 4 different houses. And so you can enter and say, oh, I'm from Gryffindor and I donated 100 books. And then Gryffindor will get, I think each book is worth 5 points. So Gryffindor would get 500 points. And then you're working with people all over the world to get your house to get the most points. So it's this fun, like it's a game and it's also donating books to folks in need. And it's a great thing.
No, it really is. And I really encourage all the parents that are watching this. This is something that you can get your children. This is something you can even bond and connect over just doing this project and getting them excited. And hey, you're going to be helping out a school or you pick out where you want the books to go to. So you're helping out another child or a family that needs this magical reading time. It really is power. Reading and books are power. And it's just amazing. Katie, do you have anything else that I didn't ask you that you want people to know about Accio Books or the Harry Potter Alliance?
One thing I will just say is if this sounds like something that parents are listening to or that kids are listening to and they're like, oh, this would be really fun for us to do, starting we have a number of chapters that are just like parents and their kids doing it together, or like a couple families doing it together as friends. And starting a chapter is 100% free. You get sent a whole bunch of resources, and basically all you have to do is fill out the Start a Chapter form on our website, which just says, where are you, and what are your thoughts about what you want to do with your chapter. And so it's a really, like, if you have been doing things with Transfiguring Adoption and you're saying, this is really, like, my kid is really into this and we love it, and you would like to use things from the HPA to help them get further into community service and social justice and things like that, it's 100% free, and we would love to help you do that.
Fantastic. And I'm actually going to be talking to you afterwards. We actually have a social club that meets here in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we're discussing what we need to do next and actually start a chapter here. So
perfect.
Woohoo! We're excited about this.
Awesome.
I'm really excited that you guys are helping out the school that's getting a library. I hope, again, parents are getting from this that Harry Potter Alliance is taking fans, they're turning them into heroes, and they're taking a great series that we've seen help kids walk through their past trauma, and they're doing amazing things with it. So not only just work on your family and maybe the trauma your kids are going through, but turn around and give back to someone else or another community. Again, the website for the Harry Potter Alliance is www.thehpalliance.org. And I was just on there. Accio Books is on there. They have a link, so you can go there and get more information on that. They also are on social media, Twitter, Facebook. Be sure to follow them on there and get very acquainted with this group that's doing some amazing things to change the world for the better. So, Katie, thank you so much for talking with me. And I'm hoping to hear more about your projects and programs, and we'll get behind you on that. Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you so much. We're so glad for Transfiguring Adoption also. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to end broadcast, and I'll talk to you a little bit afterwards.